let's understand how, as a sales or a CSM professional, we can check if API is failing, what are the status we are getting, and how we can do the basic level of troubleshooting before informing it to the support or the technical team before any escalation. Actually, it's very simple. Here I'm taking an example of Flipkart for us. So what we need to do in any website that you have gone, you just need to right click, and then you will see an option like back, reload, save. So you just need to click on inspect. As soon as you click on inspect, something like this will get open. So here you don't need to get bombarded with all the overloaded information. You directly go to network, click on fetch XR. So these are the data where network calls is happening. Network calls means API calls are happening for us. So for now I'll just click here so that I can clear all the current APIs. After that you can click on the best true wireless headphones. If I click here, here you can see. So finally we got one API that got failed. So here you will see this 406 status, and here you will see this 200. So if you click here, here you will see the header. So this is the request URL. What is the method get? What is the status code? 200 means okay, and then here if you go here, you will see all the response that we are getting from this particular API. So now this is you have to check. Now here if you go here, this API is getting failed. It means 406 not acceptable, right? So this is a status code that we are getting. So it means that we are getting an error. So this is how you can troubleshoot any API, and basis on that you can inform to your team that this particular API is failing. This is the status code that we are getting. Let's understand how we can test the API. So now we have the basic understanding what is API, what are the different component of an API, right? What is authorization, what is header, what is method, what is different aspect, what is the status code for any API. So now once you have a curl or a API, the entire curl including header, authorization and other aspect, how we can test it using Postman. I'm taking Stripe documentation. So Stripe is like a PayU or a Razorpay in USA, and they have a very good API documentation. So I want a metadata for a customer, right? So this is the API documentation. Here I can see a curl. So here method is post, and this is the endpoint version 1 and customer. Now what I need to do, I will just copy this particular curl. So now this is the metadata. So I'll just copy this particular metadata. I took an example of Stripe, right? I'll just copy this particular metadata. After that, what you need to do, you need to go to Postman. Postman is a platform where we can test the API in a non-production environment. For example, let's say the backend team has gave me the API, right? The only way I can test it is by integrating in my code, right? But that might take some time. So now how I can make sure that the API that I have given, or what kind of a response I am getting before I start coding in the front end, I can come here and I can test if this API is working fine or not. So before you share this documentation with the client, you can just test on your own. It's very simple. You just need to log in into Postman. After that, once you log in, you will see this kind of a page where you will see get started, send an API request. So just forget other things, just click on new request. Once you click on a new request, then you simply need to paste your curl here. As soon as you paste here, here you could see the method has changed. If you go to header, you will see different aspect. If you go to body, you will see this content type and other aspects. In authorization, you'll already see username and password. Here password is not required because this is an open API. It does not have any authorization because this is only for the testing purpose. And once you click send, then you will see a response. So now you could see this is a response that we are getting. This is a JSON response. So if you want in other format, XML, HTML or JavaScript, you can get that as well. So now this API is working fine. We got a status 200. Okay, here you could see, and this API is working fine. The time that it took is 1.3 second. So this is how you can test the API. And here in the curl everything was mentioned, but if not, you can select method on your own. You can give a ID and a password if your team has given you the ID and password. So this is how you can test. It was very easy.